Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my channel Revealing Concepts. In today's class, we would be learning elimination method to solve pair of linear equations in two variables. So let's start. Now our agenda for today's class would be knowing the elimination method and solving problem using the elimination method. Just like substitution method, this method would also be solved using step-by-step approach. So now what we will be doing is we will be understanding the steps and simultaneously solving the problems using those steps. The question remains the same. You would be given a system of linear equations in two variables and you are supposed to find the values for x and y in this case. So let's start. The question says that you have two equations basically and you're supposed to solve and verify the solutions that you get. So the question is x plus y equals to 5 and 2x minus 3y equals to 4. If you see, I have written the four-step approach of elimination method over here, in which step 1 says that make the coefficient of one variable equal, meaning you have to look at both the equations. You have to choose one equation and keep the second one same, and whichever equation you change or you choose, you have to make one of its coefficient, the coefficient of the variable same as that of the second equation. So आपको क्या करना है, दो इक्वेशंस है उसमें से सेकंड इक्वेशन को वैसे ही रखना है और पहले इक्वेशन को कंसीडर करना है. Then out of this first equation, you have to choose either x or y, that is up to you. In fact, choosing any of the equation is up to you. In this case, we would be choosing the first equation and इसमें से let's say I'll be taking y. And now what I'll be doing is I'll be making y का coefficient in this equation equal to y का coefficient in this equation. So here if you see, here the coefficient of y is 1, whereas here the coefficient of y is 3. Just look at the coefficient. Ignore the signs of the coefficient. So since you want to make the coefficient of y over here as 3, what you are going to do? So according to step number 1, in order to make the coefficient of y as 3 in equation 1, you are going to multiply the equation 3 throughout by equation 1 throughout by 3. That is, you are going to multiply by 3 on both the sides. So what you would be doing is, you would be considering, so consider x plus y equals to 5. Now say multiply by 3 on both sides. So this is basically your step number 1. So you will get 3 into x plus y equals to 3 into 5. So that is nothing but 3x plus 3y equals to 15. Now what you are going to do is, according to step number 2 says observe. Step number 2 में आपको सिर्फ observe करना है, and what you are supposed to observe, signs of the same terms. अभी जो terms आपने same किए हैं, here if you see, in this equation and the equation which is not changed, you have to look for the same terms. So it's very easy. The same terms are 3y and 3y. You have to see or you have to observe the signs. So if you see, the sign over here is plus, whereas the sign over here is minus. So after observing the signs, you have to move on to step number 3. Abhi step number 3 mein there are two family members which are involved. One is your sis and the other one is your dad. Now when to take help of your sister and when to take help of your dad? Let's say, now if you see over here, sis as in SIS. If the signs are similar, meaning if the signs are same, both the coefficients or both the terms के signs are same, then you are supposed to subtract. That is why the short form sis. So if the signs are same, you are going to subtract, and if the signs are different, then you are going to add. So if the signs are different, then you're supposed to add both the equations. So in step number 3, you will be either taking the help of your sister or your dad. In case if the signs are same, SIS, then in that case you're supposed to subtract both the equations, and if the signs are different, then of course dad comes into picture, so you're supposed to add both the equations. Now what is the significance of this step? I'll tell you. So first let us perform step number 3. Step number 2 is just observing the similar terms. So now we would directly move on to step number 3, because step number 2 in our case was observing and we have completed it. So since if you see, we are supposed to deal with these two equations. That is why if you see the signs are same or different, so the signs are different, and if the signs are different, D for different, D for dad, that is why we are going to add both these equations. So adding, let's say this is your equation 1, this is your equation 2, and this is your equation 3. So adding equation 2 and 3. Now it is advisable to perform the vertical addition. So you would be writing equation 2, 2x minus 3y equals to 4, and 3x plus 3y equals to 15. And you're supposed to add them. Now here if you see, 15 plus 4 is 19. These two are similar terms or same terms or like terms with opposite signs. So minus 3y and plus 3y gets cancelled, and 2x plus 3x would give you 5x. Now here if you see, when you try to combine these two equations using addition, the system of equation gets converted into an equation which is an equation in one variable. So again here a magic happens where your equation gets converted into, your equation of two variables get converted into equation of one variable, and that is why. And how do you do it? You do it by eliminating one terms from each equation, and that is why this method is called as the elimination method, because here you are going to convert into a system of one variable ka equation using the elimination method. So here if you see, 5x would be equal to 19, that is why your x would be equal to 19 upon 5. Now, what's your step number 4? Step number 4 says that substitute this x as 9 into 5 into any one of these equations. You can substitute it in any equation. So we will substitute it in equation number 1. So write down substitute x equals to 19 by 5 in equation 1. So what we will get is 19 by 5 plus y equals to 5. Y would be equal to 5 minus 19 by 5. So that is 25 minus 19 upon 5. So y would be equal to 6 by 5. So we got x as 19 by 5 and we got y as 6 by 5. Now, since we are again finding the solutions for the given system of linear equations, hence again the by default last step over here would be step number 5, and I am pretty sure that you all would know that it is the step of verification. So now let's verify. So you would consider the LHS, which is x plus y. So that is equal to, now your LHS is x plus y, your x is 19 upon 5 and y is 6 upon 5. 19 plus 6 is 25 upon 5 and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So this is equal to your RHS. Similarly, you're going to consider the next equation. The next equation is 2x minus 3y equals to 4. Right? But you're just going to consider the LHS. 2x minus 3y. So जहाँ पे x है वहाँ पे हम x का वैल्यू पुट अप करेंगे, जहाँ पे y है वहाँ पे हम y का वैल्यू पुट अप करेंगे. We know that 19 into 2 is 38 by 5 minus 18 by 5 and 38 minus 18 is 20 by 5 and we all know that 20 by 5 is 4 which is equal to your RHS. So we can say that hence verified. Now we will solve the second problem in the similar manner so that you would understand this process or this method in more better way. So again, there are two equations given to us and the question remains the same. You are supposed to solve the given pair of linear equations in two variables using the elimination method. As per step number 1, you are supposed to make the coefficient of one variable equal. Now here I would want to tell you one thing. Since there is a free choice of making the coefficient for any variable in any equation equal to the other one. तो in this case आपको क्या करना है, you need to observe both the equations और ऐसे वेरिएबल को चूज करना है in such a way that the entire process gets simplified for you. So here if you see, if I observe closely, so I have 2 over here, I have 4 over here. It's very easy to make 2 ka 4 just by multiplying because it is multiplication or division maximum that we can do over here in order to make the coefficient same. So अगर आप carefully observe करेंगे तो इस बार हम second equation को modify करेंगे और second equation में हम लोग modify करेंगे y के coefficient को because हम लोग का main aim क्या है, उसको सेम करना है और एलिमिनेट करना है. So here if you see, I would be changing 2 to 4 and changing 2 to 4 is simple. You just have to multiply by 2 so that your 2 becomes 4. But that is not the case over here. 3 को 2 नहीं कर सकते और 2 को 3 भी नहीं कर सकते because they are not multiples of each other. So now according to step number 1, you are going to consider the second equation and you are going to multiply both sides by 2. So you will get 2 into 2x minus 2y equals to 2 into 2. So you get 4x minus 4y equals to 4 and this becomes your equation number 3. Now your step number 2 is just about observing. Who you are supposed to observe? अभी ये जो modification किया है, you are supposed to observe those terms only. So you are going to observe this term and you are going to observe ये वाला term. एक जो equation change नहीं हुआ है वो और जो equation change हुआ है और नया मिला है वो equation. So if you see, you are going to observe these two similar terms and after observing, you are supposed to take help of either your sister or your dad. So here if you see, we have in the third equation the sign is minus and in the first equation the sign is plus. So the signs over here are different. So again, who comes to the rescue in the elimination method? It is dad who comes to the rescue. So if dad comes to the rescue, then what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to add both the equations. So this is your step number 3 where either you have to use your sister, you have to take help of your sister or your dad. So we are of course taking help of dad over here. So adding equation 1 and 3. So after adding equation 1 and 3, again we are going to vertically add it. So just write equation 1, 3x plus 4y equals to 10 and 4x minus 4y equals to 4. You're going to add them. So firstly, since this is a very crucial step where actually you are going to know the purpose of elimination method, तो सबसे पहले जो eliminate हो रहे हैं उनको eliminate कर दो. आफ्टर एलिमिनेटिंग अब भी आपको एक ऐसा इक्वेशन मिलेगा जो सिर्फ वन वेरिएबल उसमें इन्वॉल्व होगा. सो 3x plus 4x in this case is 7x and 10 plus 4 is 14. So in this case your x would be 14 by 7, that is your x का value is 2. अभी x का वैल्यू मिल गया तो स्टेप नंबर 4 इज लाइक सब्स्टिट्यूट इन एनी ऑफ द ओरिजिनल इक्वेशंस. तो अभी आपको x का वैल्यू आइदर इसमें और इसमें सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है. अगेन हियर whichever you feel like, but you know sometimes some equations can be more complicated and some are very easy. Like here if you see x plus y is equals to 5 is more simpler than 2x minus 3y, right? तो वैसे आपको जज करना है कि कौन से इक्वेशन में सब्स्टिट्यूट करना है. हियर आई विल बी सब्स्टिट्यूटिंग इट इन इक्वेशन 1. सो सब्स्टिट्यूट x equals to 2 in equation 1. So we get 3 into 2 plus 4y equals to 10. So 6 plus 4y equals to 10. 4y would be 10 minus 6. So y in this case would be 4 upon 4. So y is equal to 1. So here you got x ka value as 2, y ka value as 1. Are we done with the problem? No. If it is not a story problem and if you're exclusively asked to find the solution, you're supposed to verify your solution and prove it to the examiner that yes, I've got the correct solution. So what you're going to do is we are going to consider the LHS of the original equation number 1, which is 3x plus 4y. जहाँ पे भी x है वहाँ we are going to put 2 and जहाँ पे भी y है वहाँ we are going to put 1. So we get 6 plus 4 and that's 10 and that is equal to your RHS. Similarly, you're going to consider the LHS of your equation number 2, the original equation 2. So that is 2x minus 2y. Your x in this case is 2 and your y in this case is 1. So we get 4 minus 2, so that is equal to 2 and that is equal to your RHS. Since you get LHS equal to RHS in both the equations, hence you can say that your solution is verified. So this is how you're going to solve problems using elimination method, जिसमें step 1 है कि कोई भी you have to just make the coefficient of one variable in any equation equal to that of the other. तो आप कोई भी equation लेके so the step 1 में focus point है coefficient को equal करना. Step 2 is just about observing. क्या observe करना है? जिस coefficient को आपने change किया है, you need to observe the signs of those coefficients in both the equations. After closely observing the signs, you're supposed to either take help of your sis or your dad. Okay, so if the signs are same, you're supposed to subtract because sis, SIS, and if the signs are different, then you're supposed to take help of your dad because DADD, dad. Different, you're supposed to add. And finally, after doing that, you would get the value of one variable. उसको use करके आपको second variable का value find out करना है, and you have to end it by verification. So with this, we come to the end of today's class. And in today's class, we did see what is elimination method, and we solved 2 problems using elimination method. I hope you all liked the video. Thank you so much.